welcome back to the Technology Equals Equality podcast. I'm your host, Lori Brooks, and this is episode 53. I just want to say thank you all for your patience during this transition. As some of you may have noticed, there have been quite a number of changes here with the Techie podcast. We have officially moved the website over to WordPress, and you can now find us at technology-equality.com. This change is really going to allow us an opportunity to expand on the content that we're currently providing, as I mentioned in the first episode of 2016, and I'll get back into those details at the end of this episode, so stay tuned. But right now, let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. I am very pleased to welcome to the show today Brian Leon Smith, an app developer, systems builder, music fan, film buff, comedy-loving solopreneur on a journey. Most recently, Brian has founded 48K Applications Limited, a South Coast digital agency producing cloud-based systems integrated with iOS and Android phone apps and games. Brian, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
We would love to go ahead and kind of rewind the clocks here just a bit. Tell us the story of how it is you once saw the future long before you decided to begin branding and building out 48K apps.
Well, I suppose I kind of fell into it the first time around. I got an offer to go contracting up in London, so I needed to set up a business to look after that. So I kind of just stumbled into what we now call entrepreneurship, which is a word I'm still not overcompetent or friendly with. Being a UK business person, we don't big ourselves up. We just kind of do what we do. So I just kind of stumbled onto it, and it kind of went from there.
Well, let's go ahead and rewind it even further. Let's look at when you were a kid. What did you think you would grow up and do?
Oh God. Yeah, a long time ago that. Back in school, the strange thing was I was always good at maths and, math as you call it, and art. So left and right brains. So I always was drawn towards the creative arts, I suppose, but with a technical twist to it. So what that was going to be when I was growing up, no idea. In secondary school, a few of my friends got together and started to try and write computer games for the old ZX Spectrum. If anybody remembers that, I don't know how old your listeners are, but one of the first personal computers, especially in the UK, and we're writing games for that and trying to break into that market. So if that was the front runner to the technical age we live in now with the internet and PlayStations, etc., then I suppose I've always been trying to get onto this bandwagon.
So that's where the journey started.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there was no set plan as such. It just I stumbled into it, and I had friends around me with a similar mindset, and that's where we went.
Sometimes when you stop and take a look at your own life and a look at your own journey a little more in depth, you realize even as a kid, there were kind of hints there that even though you didn't have any idea, there are those hints that kind of formed.
Yeah, I suppose it comes back to everybody's trying to find what they're good at.
Right.
There's a big thing now to everybody needs to be entrepreneurial and build what you're good at and that. But I suppose if you just listen to yourself, you'll find those strengths.
Exactly. It's a lot about knowing yourself and understanding what you enjoy, what those strengths are that you do have, and how you can go about serving others with those strengths. When you begin recognizing that, when you really decided to begin building out that 48K apps in terms of this as a business, what were some of the first steps that you took? What were some of those, after it became a thought process for you, what were some of the first things that you did?
Well, 48K Apps is the latest business. I've been self-employed or doing businesses for several years now in different disguises. So the very first business, or one of the early ones, it was, speaking to the accountants, getting advice from people, trying to lay the foundations before taking the leap, but also not spending too long thinking about it. A lot of the time you'll overanalyze and overcomplicate and never actually do what it is you want to do. So that business, I was with a friend of mine. We both set it up so we could split the load and try and work out the best approach forward at the time.
I love that. Well, with the first business, you took your time to really, and I love the way you explained that, you laid the foundation, but you didn't overanalyze and kind of, let yourself go into that procrastination mode that we can get into when we begin looking at different aspects of the journey itself. How do you feel that actually differs from what you did with 48K app? Your foundation was already there. You had already been building businesses. How do you feel that differs in terms of creating a new business when you already have a foundation for other ones versus creating your initial business? How do you feel those two differed? Or do you?
Well, I suppose this time round the hard. Well, no, I do, because it was harder in a way. You always have different challenges, but having an existing business I've been in for 5 years this time, that was profitable and on the brink of maybe going to be a recognised brand or a market leader, listening again to yourself and saying I'm not enjoying this. So there's always a trade-off between money and fulfilment. And a lot of people are in business for the money, which we need the money, we need mortgages to pay and all the rest of it. But there's also the element of enjoying what you do. Was it Jack Canfield said, if it isn't fun, don't do it. So I have to think deep and go, okay, this is going somewhere, but it's not necessarily where I want to go. So it is a completely different experience this time around to start again and build a business. So yeah, things easier, set up the business, accountants, etc., etc. You've got all the contacts that you used to have, but a different set of challenges going back into the unknown.
Definitely. And what do you feel is the most difficult part of kind of taking that step back into the unknown?
I suppose as you get older, getting back into at your comfort zone, it's very easy to stay in that. And I think as you get older, the comfort zone becomes even more comfortable. But you've got to break free of that. You've always got to break free of that and keep pushing and keep challenging and keep learning until you get really where you want to be.
Definitely. Recognizing, once again, knowing self. And recognizing when you have hit that comfort zone, if you've hit that comfort zone, and having the ability to kind of be available to pivot. Do you feel there was a specific key to your success over the years building businesses? What do you feel has helped you the most?
Specific key. I mean, constantly learning, constantly, changing things, constantly developing forward, creating, being the creative person I am, that's the thing that drives me most. And I suppose the secondary thing after years of challenging it is the positive mindset that don't listen to other people and do what you want to do. I mean, I've heard some of your other interviews the last few days, and a recurring theme, don't share your ideas with people because all the naysayers will put it down before it even starts. So if you think you've got a good idea, just go for it and keep working hard and push as far as you can.
So I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about 48K Apps as a business, as the newest one that you've been kicking off. And I happened to notice when I was browsing through the site itself, the hashtag leg up. So I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about that as well.
Well, there's two things on the site at the moment because it's fairly new. The first one is the first hashtag friends, which is just it works from Twitter, basically allows you to search for multiple hashtags from your streams and find new people to follow. The leg up came from a Channel 4 TV program here in the UK, which is a comedy program, but they did a thing where they tried to get the community to help each other using the hashtag leg up. So I thought it was valid just to put a site together that would plot all the tweets of help and advice onto a Google map and let people kind of find each other and share their experiences and try and help each other. So that's kind of a thing I built on the side, really, is just something to do because I thought it was a worthwhile cause.
That's cute. I absolutely love it. I thought that was adorable. I was going through that, a little bit earlier. The different locations and how many different locations there are at this point that have begun joining in. So hopefully we can have the hashtags move on over to Boston. We will be joining you soon and have that initiative. adorable. So definitely. But tell me more about, the hashtag friends. In terms of a networking app, how are you helping to have this help the market that you're looking to serve?
It's hashtag friends is really my first foray into app development, so it's more of a test application more than anything. I think it's a worthwhile little product. It's just kind of the learning curve for me as far as app development and different platforms and what you can and can't do, etc. There's several applications I'm working on that I think the main social media platforms there's a few bits missing in between them. So I'm kind of like developing those holes as such and using that, as I said, as the main learning curve. Getting it out there, as with anything in life and any business, whether it's online or apps or anything, it is exposure and growing your social standpoint and just getting out there. So anything that helps people find other people, I think, is worthwhile, and they're the kind of apps I'm kind of leaning towards as the helping people approach. So I've got some other apps in the pipeline that angle not just from a business but a personal viewpoint. I mean, I'm a great believer in people's journeys and self-development, etc. I've done the Tony Robbins stuff and walked on hot coals and listened to the Bob Proctor weekend videos, etc. So especially business owners need to develop themselves as well as the business. So the apps kind of go down that route, I think.
Definitely. I think it's outstanding. And I thank you for that overview there. That was very adorable. And I too have listened to the videos and gone through the trainings, and I think it's very important, which, hopefully we're helping out with that in and of itself, with the show, just having the ability to share the journey to others so that they can, share in downs of what it could be like when they get to whatever point in their journey that they're in. So, Brian, I thank you for that, and I will definitely be linking to 48K apps from the show notes page, and I'll make sure to link to the app through the show notes page as well, a link direct to the App Store. If you had a time machine, Brian, and had the opportunity to go back 10 or 15 years, say even 20 years, long before you started building businesses, and had the opportunity to tell yourself one thing, what would it be?
The one thing, probably not to worry as much, both in business and private life, is things tend to work out either for the better or the worse. But if it's the worst, it's still a learning opportunity. So don't worry as much. Just go for it, really. As I said, you maybe not atypically UK entrepreneurs, but we are a bit quiet and reserved than our friends across the pond. And it's just say what you feel, and don't bottle it up, and just do it. Basically, coming back to Richard Branson, isn't it? Nike, just do it.
My life, I absolutely love that one. Don't worry so much. I could have used that a couple of years back too, definitely. I like that one.
I think a lot of people struggle with that. It's as simple as that. I think a lot of people there's so many things you want to do and say. I've had some ideas I've been sitting on for 5-10 years now, and I just thought I've got to give these a go. I can't just let them, just fall by the wayside. I'm going to have to step out and just try this. And even now I'm still worrying about stuff. So just let it go. Just go for it. Definitely.
Can't overanalyze, as you were mentioning earlier, and not overanalyzing things and just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Taking off and going for it. I love that. So the show's really designed to help entrepreneurs come up with ideas to help solve the pain in an industry that they probably weren't thinking of initially. So, Brian, we would absolutely love to help you, and be it in 48K apps or any of the other, previous existing businesses that are up and running, we'd love to know, if you had a magic wand and could change anything at all in any of your businesses, what would it be and why?
I suppose with the latest 48K apps, primarily aiming at app development, it's you find just how disparate all the different platforms, all the different phones, all the different manufacturers, even down to the charger cable. You know, if you've got a new iPhone or an old iPhone, you can't borrow your friend's Android charger. Everything is so different. It would be amazing if they could get together and standardize some of this stuff. So, you know, you could borrow each other's as a charges, and from a development angle, it makes it so much easier if there wasn't so much, you know, complication to it. I know we all like choice and, you know, being able to go and buy the new latest shiny gadget, but some level of standardization would make everybody's life a lot easier, I think.
You are so genius. I feel the same way. In fact, it's gotten to household where we kind of just buy only a certain specific set of devices at this point, because I'm tired of like coordinating chargers and figuring out what goes to what. I totally agree with you. That is an awesome idea. So Apple, Android, everybody, get on it. Standardize.
I think you hit the nail on the head. That's why they do it. Once you've gotten to the iPhone route, you're never going to go anywhere else because you just can't stand the hassle of trying to find a bloody cable. So I think that's why they do it, but it doesn't help us out, does it?
No, it's genius on their end, but it's some way to make, you know, universal for all that would be even better. I know they have universal chargers, but that's different. It's not, you know, it's not the same as the universal charger device, you know. So no, I totally understand. So that is a good one, Brian. Thank you. So please share the best way for our listeners to go ahead and reach out to you as soon as they come up with these universal devices for us.
Well, you know, as you said, the corporate website is 48kapps.com. My main point of contact, I suppose, is Twitter, which is just, you know, my handle is @BrianLeonSmith. About me, same again, Brian Leon Smith. And just to keep it consistent, unlike the phone charges, my new blog is brianleonsmith.com. So any of those, I'd love if the listeners get in touch and let me know what apps and games they're using at the moment, what's popular, because it always helps from a, you know, development angle and research that what everybody's into, apart from Facebook and Twitter, because they're a given, really.
Certainly, I totally understand. Well, Brian, I thank you so much for joining us today. We truly enjoyed this conversation.
Don't worry so much. Keep your head up and always follow your gut instinct. Then reach out to Brian Leon Smith at 48kapps.com. You can always reach Brian through our show notes page at technology-equality.com. Again, that's technology-equality.com. Again, we did switch over to WordPress as of now, so check us out over on our brand new platform. Let me know what you think of the new website. I'm totally excited to hear some sort of feedback as to, you know, what you guys think of the new changes and the new web domain. And then I want to implement something new. What I'd like to start doing is having a specialist episode. Once a month, I'm going to go ahead and have the guests of the show answer questions from the audience, things that you guys are, you know, stumbling on and can't think of or can't answer for yourself, and you're just looking for a little bit of extra help to move forward in your journey. I want to know what those questions are, and I want to be able to help you answer those questions, as do the guests of the Technology Equals Equality podcast. So the community as a whole is coming together to help answer your questions. So feel free to send those questions to me at Lori@technology-equality.com. Again, that's Lori@technology-equality.com. Let me know what questions you have. What is it that's plaguing you on a regular day and holding you back from moving forward in your entrepreneurial journey? If you don't have the opportunity to send over an email, feel free to always give us a call day or night. You can call the Technology Equals Equality podcast team at 617-615-6472 and leave a voicemail with your question. And until our next episode, when we continue to hear the journey, find the pain and create solutions.